Darling.
What? Oh, hi, 02. What is happening? How did I get here? I swear to God, I wake up weird places when I start drinking. Well, I suppose it's better than the bathtub. The strange lands of Netflix. Where men can get pregnant. Oh, no. And they have 2 really good animes. And then a whole bunch of, like, cookie cutter versions of other much better shows that they took off their platform for, I don't know, some reason. They just did. Last week I had several days where I had an abundance of time on my hands and pretty much only one way to use it, which was to watch anime on my laptop. I didn't have cell reception, I didn't have Wi-Fi, and for the goddamn life of me, I couldn't find a way to watch anime on my laptop other than downloading it off of Netflix, of all places. So that was a thing. So I begrudgingly gave Netflix $20 to allow me to watch their... Let's just get into it. We're talking about Last Hope, an anime that is bizarre for a number of reasons. What's it about, dear host, I hear you say? Well, my dear viewer, I don't really know what it's about. I get, like, where the story goes. Like, it goes somewhere. But how it goes anywhere is... It's got to be one of the 7 wonders of the world. Here's the premise. All of the organic life on the planet somehow mixed with all this technology, which, like, made them get bigger and, like, deadlier, and they start attacking humans, who are now, since the whole place is basically a wasteland now because of the organic apocalypse, have to be in these sanctuary cities. We focus on one, Neong Shang Lao. That's probably not right, but I think that's what they said. And how did this happen, my dear host? Well, my dear viewer, I can try to tell you how I think it happened. So there's this machine, like, that's supposed to create a massive amount of energy which will power everything forever. What is this machine? Well, it's a reactor, okay? We understand it so far. The reactor makes energy by connecting with all the other dimensions in our dimensional space we're apparently in. And I guess other realities. It's not really explained. Nothing in this show is explained. And then it takes energy, and I'm not sure. They talk about it a lot in the show, but they say a whole lot of nothing. So, anywho, it takes energy from the other dimensions, and when they flipped the switch on it, it made the organic apocalypse happen somehow, because I don't know, it went haywire for a minute, and then our main character Leon repaired it, and then for some reason they kicked him out of the city into the organic wasteland, because screw you, main character. And of course, the main character is actually bizarre in himself, but I'll talk about that later. So he goes out into the wasteland, and he continues trying to make a version of the reactor, but, like, smaller, out in the boonies, and it somehow works, right? But what he does with the reactor, No, they call it something really dumb. The Hyperdrive. They call it the Hyperdrive, and I don't see how funny it is that it's called Hyperdrive, because, oh my god, here comes this giant, I don't really remember what it was, but it's coming to kill a bunch of people. So, he rams it, like, into a car, like a little transformer car, and now it works. It works, and it connects his consciousness with all the other realities of the other dimensions. And it makes him, like, it gives him bullshit superpowers, I guess. But anyway, the people in the city are like, oh my god, this is, woo, look at this guy. Why did we kick him out? I mean, this is awesome. He killed this big thing with his little car that can turn into a little mech. And they're like, oh shit, we should let him back in. And so they do that, and everyone's an asshole to him because, I don't know, how could you not be? He's weird. I'll get into that. And they're gonna use his mini reactor hyperdrive bullshit thing to power up these mech car helicopter things to fight off the evil biomechanical animals. Okay? Now, if you're wondering why I'm so, like, I'm staring off into the ceiling like I'm expecting the rapture to happen, if you're wondering why I'm doing that, it's because I'm trying to piece together the little things that are properly explained to the viewer. Because in between all of this is a whole lot of bullshit. Just a whole lot of it. Just mountains of shit. And it's, the only reason I didn't just chuck my laptop out a window and stare at the ground for 8 hours was because it was just oddly amusing to watch a show that is oddly bullshit. So, I tried to make, this is the second time I tried to record this because the first time I really wanted to slam my head into this wall.
This kid finna knock himself out.
A great anime can come from a lot of different elements, but one of the classic versions of a great anime is one where they toe the line between serious, dark content and stupidly funny comedic relief. All right, a great example of this is Demon Slayer. At one moment, you have people getting ripped to shreds, dying, blood, guts, innocent people just getting ravaged by demons. And then on the other hand, you have Zenitsu playing grab ass with Nezuko, chasing Nezuko and Tanjiro around the room. Stop it! Trying to get some. And it's hilarious because they do it really well. Because she's just, his character, that's who he is. When he's awake, he's a bumbling, crying dumbass. When he's asleep, he is a cold-hearted killer. And I mean, like, there is some suspension of belief there, but it works. Now, let me tell you about a character in Last Hope. His name's Doug. Don't know his last name. They probably said it. I don't remember. Doug is, he carries around a cat in his backpack. And that's part of his character. He goes to adult establishments, which is defined as him going to a brothel every night. He gets drunk all the time. Most of the time he's hungover. And he's a complete asshole to this poor young man who just wants to be called captain because he's a captain, I think. And he's just an asshole. But he's kind of like suave and cool, I guess, because he gets drunk and bangs hookers. You know? It's just strange, but you know, if that's his character, that's his character. But I hear you say there must be a but. There is. So his backstory is actually phenomenal. Like, they should have made an entire anime about it. I remember it pretty clearly. So he was part of this assassin program that kidnapped, I think they killed the parents and then kidnapped these babies. And then when the babies grew up a little bit, they introduced them to a surrogate mother. And then they trained them to become these astounding snipers. It's similar to Phantom Requiem for the Phantom, but I can't really tell you which one would be better because, of course, I only have the brief time they explained it in Last Hope. But they groom them into being these masterful killers. And then when they get to a certain age, they put them up with a sniper and a scope, and they put a person with a bag over their head downrange. And they say, shoot them. And, I mean, they've been desensitized to the act of killing, so they're like, fine, whatever. Bang. And then they take the bag off of the head, and oh my god, it's the surrogate mother who raised them their entire lives, and pretty much the only person they ever loved. Wow. Wow. It doesn't end there, too. He's an assassin now, and I kid you not. This is literally only explained over a few episodes in, like, if you put it all together, it takes like 10 minutes. And so he's an assassin now, and he gets a job. He's got to get close to a super sexy scientist lady who's working on some bullshit machine. And then he has to kill her after he learns everything. So you'd think, well, they took his innocence away. He shot his poor mother. Well, surrogate mother, but at that point, if it was it was basically their mother. Well, I'm just trying to... I keep seeing the connections on how none of this makes sense in my brain, and it keeps stopping me. We think, because in the future he's a hooker-banging, cat-toting drunk, but in the past he's just this stone-cold killer. And so we think, we're led to believe something's going to happen. We're expecting he's just going to get close to this woman, bang, kill her. But no, I mean, she's a super sexy scientist lady. They actually start to like each other, and they said that they were pretty much each other's only friend when he was trying to get close to her and help with her science bullshit thing. And so, of course, they fall in love, damn it. And there's this really powerful scene where they were walking in the field, and he takes his gun out, and she realizes, like, well, at the moment, we think she's realizing, oh god, he's going to kill me now. So she gets on her knees and references to the point where she's like, tell me what the daisy means. And she pulls out a daisy, and apparently, I mean, I'm just trying to piece together, apparently they had this romantic, fun thing where he would tell her the language of the flowers. Which is weird, you weirdo. Why do you know the language of the flowers? But she holds it up. We don't see her die, but we see bang, and that's it. Then we later learn that actually they eloped and they left. And then they found this cat under a bridge, this little baby kitty, and they adopt it. And then in the future, the bullshit thing she was working on comes to kill her. But that's when it loses me. You have these two drastically different characters, and you can kind of get it. The love of his life died, so there's probably going to be a little bit of change in his personality, but I don't know how A goes to Z there, okay? Man loving one woman. Man banging a bunch of hookers. A stone cold, reserved killer turning into a bumbling drunk. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? But anyway, the show keeps referencing back where I just smacked my mic. We'll go back to it. The show keeps talking about how this bullshit reactor is actually not a bullshit reactor. It was designed to do the very thing that it did, which was make the biomechanical apocalypse thing happen. By this dimensional twink. What does twink even mean? What does twink even mean? Twinkie. So the space twink, dimensional twink, I don't know, caused this whole thing to happen, and he's like really, really obsessed with, I guess this, now that I think about it, this whole show is a weird, like, PSA for, like, saving the planet, like, from pollution or something. That's all I can draw from it. Because at the end, our main character, who I haven't talked about a lot, I'll get to him, was asking the space twink, the space Twinkie, he was like, so, why did you do this whole thing? And he's like, well, I wanted to save the planet, he says, but it takes him like 10 minutes to do so. And he's like, if I had to kill all the humans to make sure the planet is saved, which defeats the purpose, you dumb shit, he says, I'll do it. Great, I guess. But they use the bullshit hyperdrives, whatever they are, to stop him. So, in the end, they defeat Space Twinkie. Space Twinkie. And I don't know, the humans are saved, but the planet is not. I don't know, man. Doesn't make any goddamn sense. All right. The show it uses science that we're just supposed to think, oh, well, I guess if it works, it works. Or if it didn't work, it didn't work. And we're not really told how any of this shit happens. I keep wanting to believe, because I love anime so much, that in reality I'm just such a drunken idiot that they actually explained it perfectly, and I'm just dumb. But I don't think so. You see, the trope they're relying on is in anime. It's a tale as old as time. Tale as old as time, because if you can bombard the viewer with so much science talk and all this weird shit is going on, and then if they understand it just enough to get the idea, you can get away with a lot without everyone calling out your bullshit. Akira is a great example of that. Let's be honest here. A lot of things happen in Akira that don't really make sense.
This is a robbery.
None of Tetsuo's powers are really explained. None of Akira's powers are really explained, but they explain the basis just enough so that you think, oh, okay, cool. And then you're not thinking about that the whole time. You're thinking about the great story. That's how it's supposed to work. But the whole story in Last Hope is centered around the bullshit science. Like, it is the focus. They talk about it all the time. And this is why, you think, well, wait a minute, hold on. You can't talk about it for 10 minutes without saying anything understandable or comprehensible. I guess those are the same thing. Comprehensible. Okay. So just give me one thing I need to understand. Quit with the science bullshit. And, god damn. I'll leave you with an explanation of the main character, which should let you know just how topsy-turvy this whole thing is. So the main character is supposed to be this super genius man who can make the bullshit science machines work, and he he's so smart. He's so smart that it actually backfires on him. He's actually a complete. I use this word a lot when I describe myself. I don't want to say it. He's a bit mentally retarded, okay? So, he's always looking down at his laptop. He does two things all the time. He's staring at his holographic laptop, or he's eating Japanese, they call it maha. I don't know what it is. Mawa? Or he's eating or he's looking at his laptop. Everything else is in the back burner, okay? So, we see him all the time smashing his head into pipes and walls and...
I can't believe he lied to me.
I'm so sorry.
Like, sometimes it's funny because he'll hit a pipe like boom, boom, and you'd think he'd look up and go, God damn, I'm such an idiot. Why did I do that? But no, he doesn't look up from the laptop. He goes, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Ma'am, I'm sorry. And then he like goes a different direction. What? I'm gonna cry. Oh, he gets lost all the time. He's really socially inept, which I guess makes sense. Geniuses tend to not really be social creatures. My head hurts. I don't know how they did it. How they can present someone as super smart, epic genius, but then, like, he can't use Google Maps to go down the street, or he can't find the bathroom.
Chloe is enraged with me.
He walks around naked sometimes.
No wandering around butt naked.
To the absolute horror of his little sister, adopted sister. I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, it's kind of a fun show. Because it's so dumb that it works. It's bizarre. And I think that'll wrap up this 22-minute long rant about it. All right? God. I woke up too early to do this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I doubt anybody watched this far because trying to explain the bullshit, I somehow... my mind also became bullshit. So... that happened.